The private sector is committed to the youth agenda. What would help in accelerating the uptake of whether it's partnerships or contributions or mentorship by the private sector is clarity based on sectors and value chains, because the private sector is sector-based and even more based on value chains. So it is really, really important that even as we formulate this policy, it's critical that for purposes of the private sector uptaking, in other words, the transition from policy to practice, it is very critical that there be clarity on exactly what is the role that the private sector should play. For example, it is not good enough to say that we would want to partner in agriculture. Agriculture has several value chains, and it would be important to be very clear that yes, we are interested in partnering in the agricultural sector, for example, in the potato value chain, in the mango value chain, and exactly what particular node. Is it marketing? Is it production? Is it processing? Is it logistics? Is it auxiliary services? So it is very, very important for one to be very, very clear on exactly what role they would want the private sector to play. According to the Kenya National Youth Development Policy, there is the expectation, and it actually quotes that the private sector is obligated to, among many other things, to create employment and also promote and offer internships as well as other opportunities for the youth. But it needs to be approached from a sector angle whereby young people are matched with companies which would offer them value, but also which would contribute some value to those same companies. So even as we have this conversation, it is very, very important that there be clarity in the document about exactly what role the private sector would play. Sometimes there is need of negotiation with the private sector. And so there's a lot of conversation that still needs to go on. However, the private sector is committed to youth employment creation. It is committed to enterprise development. And as we speak, it is working on a platform that will bring together all players in employment creation and in enterprise development, targeting to create at least 1 million jobs as aligned to the industrial transformation, the National Industrial Transformation Program of Kenya, as well as the Agricultural Sector Transformation and Growth Strategy, both of which target to each create 1 million jobs. Therefore, for this to be successful and sustainable, it has to be very, very clear exactly how the private sector is expected to plug in, and this needs to be very reflected in the policy document.